Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we're talking about Starfield. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Definitely appreciate all the support I've gotten lately. You guys are definitely helping this channel grow. If you're one of the people that are still just watching and haven't hit that subscribe button, it would really appreciate it if you did. So you can be informed on every time I talk about something. So, Starfield. We finally got everything basically revealed to us, showing us exactly what this game is, how it's going to play, how it looks. You know, a lot of us are hyped, overhyped, feeling kind of like, hey, Microsoft, you know, I mean, it's been 2 years now almost. You know, we've had our Series X's. You know, Forza Horizon 5 is fine. You know, the new update for that's coming. It's pretty cool. Halo Infinite, I mean, that was kind of a mixed bag for a lot of different people. Me, personally, I didn't really have a problem with Halo Infinite. But Starfield is something that I have been... I would say I was pretty hyped for it. Not like super over the top, like, oh my gosh, man. I'm like... But I mean, like, from what I had heard, you know, when they would talk about it, and it sounded like something that I wanted. So let me give you a little bit of breakdown, because when you look at No Man's Sky, I mean, when you look at No Man's Sky and you look at what Starfield has to offer, there are a lot of resemblances, and this is my honest 100%. Straight at you, this is how I feel about Starfield right now today. Yes, it does resemble No Man's Sky a lot. But my feelings is I like the more realistic look of Starfield. I would definitely take Starfield over No Man's Sky visuals any day of the week. Any day of the week. Like, I've played a lot of No Man's Sky. Well, not a lot. I played it on PlayStation 4 and I've played it on Xbox. I mean, I got it on both of them, and those new updates helped. But here's my biggest problem with No Man's Sky. The story, man. I need a reason to want to be out there, you know, traveling and exploring and doing all of that. Okay, I need that RPG element that Starfield is going to bring, that is really going to separate those two games for me, I believe. Now No Man's Sky has been getting tons of updates, tons of love, tons of support. It is now running at 4K, 60 frames a second, looking really good on Xbox Series X. It's getting PlayStation VR 2 support on when that launches, so No Man's Sky is still a pretty big contender. Now, if No Man's Sky was to come out and be like, hey, man, we got a big old story mode coming for this game, that there would at least give me a reason to like go around and learn all the systems and like really want to, because to be completely honest, with my time that I have to spend in video games, it's really hard for me to get into the survival games. Like, I like the idea of them. I like what they have to do. But I never have the, I guess I lose my, it's like something to do with my attention span or something. I get out there and I'll play around. I mean, I'll jump in No Man's Sky and I'll play for a few hours at a time, and I'll be like just running around doing whatever on a planet, and then I'm like, whatever. And then by the time I come back to it, I've forgotten what I was doing. So I'm just, so it doesn't keep me, it doesn't keep my brain engaged enough to really focus and like dig deep into what No Man's Sky has to offer. That's where Starfield comes in for me. Starfield is going to have a story mode, a full RPG mode for me to get in there and learn the systems and do all of that. Not only is that going to help me play Starfield, but it's also going to help me with No Man's Sky as well. So I'll have both of those to jump around to and be able to take what I learn in Starfield and then apply that in No Man's Sky and vice versa. I'll be able to... I think that each one of these games is going to help the other game tremendously. Now, let's get to the elephant in the room. 30 frames a second. You've heard me complain about 30 frames a second on this channel for a long, long time. Here's the deal. Here's the freaking deal. Yes, that is extremely disappointing to me. Extremely disappointing to me. That probably is the most irritating thing that I hear when a new game gets announced. 30 frames a second makes my blood boil now. Like, I don't want to play it. It doesn't do me any good to play 30 frames a second. But if No Man's Sky, Starfield, whatever, if Starfield launches with a 60 frames per second performance mode that is at least 1440p, I'll be able to play that on my monitor with my Series X. And I don't feel like I will, but I'm going to try it because I got a PC too. So I'm going to try both versions, and I'm going to see if the PC will give me, if I could throw it in the PC and put it on my 4K TV and get, 60 frames per second at 4K and be able to keep, all of the visual goodies, I would possibly be okay with that. It would suck though to know that my Xbox Series X can't power something that, because I mean, let's face it. I mean, the visuals of Starfield look good, but they also look a little bit. They don't look as. I mean, they're nowhere near as defined and as sharp as something like Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West does have some extremely beautiful visuals. Now, there's no way around that. And for PlayStation to be able to get that thing running and looking as good as it does at 60 frames per second, and then Starfield coming out and like. So here's the thing, man. Like, I do feel like Starfield has a visual flair, but I mean, there's points in there where you're looking at the ground and you can see that it's just a flat texture. There are a lot of visual things in Starfield that kind of make you like look back and like, ooh, gosh, I don't know. But I mean, how much of that is okay when it comes to the scope, the size of this game? I mean, we're talking about whole planets that you can land anywhere and explore anywhere you want. 1,000 of them. Now, granted, there are 4 handcrafted cities or whatever, and then the rest of it will be procedurally generated. Here's the thing, man. Like, me personally, I'm not a major fan of procedural generation, but I do kind of feel like that is really going to be a must-have if you want big open worlds. And I like that. I like that there's big open worlds. I want them to go bigger, so if I have to deal with some procedurally generated stuff, I mean, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Playing No Man's Sky, this takes me back to No Man's Sky. Like, I've seen some incredibly beautiful places on No Man's Sky due to the way it does its procedural generation. And when you look at a game like Starfield with having 1,000 planets that you can explore, if they didn't do procedural generation, then your game is going to balloon 300 gigs, 500 gigs. It's going to be so big if every single one of those are handcrafted. Now, I never once thought in a million years when I saw Starfield did I ever think that I was like, oh man, we're going to get PlayStation first party visuals on this. No, I never thought that. And in my opinion, yes, this does look like a next gen version of the creation engine that Bethesda uses. It does look next gen when you compare it to other games like Elder Scrolls, or you compare it to Fallout 4, Fallout 76. Here's my thing. Honestly, if Starfield looks as good as Elder Scrolls Online does in the 4K 60 mode, or in the in like a 1440p, I would still be perfectly okay with playing that on my Series X, even on my 4K TV. If they can implement Dolby Vision, that would definitely help. I mean, the shooting in the game, for the most part, like, yeah, it does look. I don't know, man. I haven't felt it. I mean, like, you look at the way you know, when you're shooting the enemies, the way they react, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I would love to see some like cool like hit detection or something like that where like they react to being shot. That would be pretty cool, but I mean, my gosh. They've been working on this game for a long time. And this is what they're showing us. I'm not 100% like upset with the way the visuals and everything look. I think it looks better than it doesn't. I'm perfectly, for the most part, I'm 100% okay with the visuals. I feel like the scope of the game definitely will 100% make that perfectly okay for me. I would really like to see if I mean, honestly, I'd like to know. I mean, when are these games going to start using DirectML? When are these games going to start using these these features that the Xbox Series X is capable of? Because let's face it, if you want beautiful games at 60 frames a second, yes, we're going to have something like DLSS. DLSS on an Nvidia card on my PC is freaking incredible. So the sooner Microsoft gets the DLSS or the DirectML up and running and ready and able to use in games, the better. Now, with Microsoft's track record, though, I do believe that once it is available, it will be implemented retroactively in all the games that they've put out. In all the games that they've put out. So, that there, I'm not 100% worried about. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Xbox has a tremendous record of upgrading and updating their games and moving them forward. So I'm 100% happy with that, and I do feel like Starfield is going to iterate and get better over time, no matter what. Okay, guys, man, I mean, like I'm not as upset as a lot of people are. I'm not because I look at Starfield and I look at the way the visuals and stuff on that look. And then the first thing I did was I compared it in my mind to No Man's Sky. And I knew that we were going to have to deal with procedural generation. While I'm not a major fan of it, No Man's Sky did soften the blow for me when I found that out. The fact that they're shooting for 4K 30 frames a second, the fact that, you know, um, I don't know. I mean, I think the biggest selling point on Starfield is going to be that single player campaign. The fact that we'll be able to get through this in 35 to 40 hours, I mean that there is is good. It is good if you just want to buckle down and do the campaign 30 35 40 hours or whatever. That sounds pretty good to me. And then having this big open space, I do kind of worry that the game is going to feel empty. And on these other planets, I do feel like it has the potential to not be one of the greatest games. But to tell you the truth, man, I get to download this on Game Pass, and it's only gonna cost me $60. I don't necessarily have a big problem with that. I don't necessarily have a big problem with that. And if they keep adding to it like they do all their other games, and then allowing mod support and everything like that, I think Starfield's going to be freaking great. I think it's in a good place right now for the most part. I think that I think the closer to launch, I want to see, you know, some of the other stuff that they've gotten, you know, fixed and worked out, and we'll see how that goes, because I bet they're sitting back right now. They're listening to a lot of feedback, and I'm not going to just pile on and be ignorant, because I want a good solid game. I don't want them to. I don't want them to change and deviate too much from the vision that they have. I want to experience what Starfield has to offer. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this right now, because there's a lot of things that I like, and then there's very few that kind of make me question, you know, like, okay, is this going to be good or is it not? I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it. Like, whatever, man. If it turns out to be a 40-hour game, whatever, man. I get through 40-hour PlayStation games all the freaking time. And it's like, whatever. If it turns out to be a one and done experience, fine, it's a one and done experience. But yeah, dude, I do have high hopes for Starfield, and we'll find out if those are realized when the game launches. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop whatever you want in the comment section. I'll read it. We can discuss this. And maybe I'll do a live, and we'll have a live discussion about this later. Yeah, and just kind of come together and see what this game has to offer, and see how everybody's feeling. So thank you. If you like this content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.